It is that time of the week where one of the co-hosts of Good Morning Football, Kyle Brandt, joins the show. He had a pair of Bills nominees for his Angry Runs segment this week. How did they do? Roll the tape.
We have a new species, an angry throw. Josh Allen with the stiff arm takes the hit and then sidearms it. Now hold on, check this out. This is one of those like new Jurassic Park movies where they make a giant dinosaur. Like, how did this happen? Well, we have a new species, the stiff arm, and then as he's running, he's gonna get hit by a linebacker and still throw this sucker. Watch Josh Allen. Here it is, running, get off me, get off me, get off me. Every other quarterback goes down and goes, ugh, ugh. He's like Willem Dafoe in Platoon. Just absolutely beautiful, poetic throw. But I said a tandem. There's an angry throw, and then there's the good old-fashioned Jim the Anvil Neidhart who comes in after the hand slap of the hitman. Watch Diggs at the end of this play, how pissed off he is. Diggs is gonna, and then we're just gonna stand there for a little minute. He's got something to say. He's got something to say. Get out of my face. I'll do what I want. I'm a star. You're a Jet. Get out of my, watch it again. In front of the Jets bench, they're not going to do squat about it. Diggs says, I got a Super Bowl to win. I love this. Right there is what I get out of bed in the morning for. That is really good. So think about him with Allen and an angry throw. I got to go down I got to take a breath for a second. This one's tough today, guys. Buffalo, Happy New Year. This is going to Western New York. Jump off the tables, get the wings, throw the unmentionables onto the field. You are getting the scepter on the strength of Bret the Hitman Hart, and then if we can go right to Stefon Diggs, we nailed it. Some of these guys are friendly, some of them are cool, they're on the red carpet, they look great. Stefon Diggs has a dark side, and we will be seeing that in the playoffs. Buffalo, you get the scepter. Shout out to Steve Tasker and Chris Brown. See you next week in the playoffs for Angry Runs. Boom!
Oh, wow. Look at that.
There you go.
I got goosebumps. I got the chicken skin over here, Kyle
Let's
Brandt.
go.
Unbelievable. How inventive this week by you.
Hey, the inventiveness came from the quarterback and the wide receiver who found a way to team up to have the first ever angry throw, to have extracurriculars after the play. I'm just in their wake, my friends, and in your wake. You two and Stefon and Josh were the stars of the segment.
Yeah, it was a great last week, the first week 18 ever in the NFL, and it ended with that unbelievable overtime game in Vegas. The Bills clinched the East for the second time in a row, and they get a rematch for the third time with the Patriots coming up on Saturday. It's really a cool week to be in the NFL right now. It's the Pittsburgh Steelers are like, I told Brownie this, it's like a garbage truck. They go boop, boop, boop. They backed into the playoffs, and they made it. It's absolutely unbelievable. So give me your thoughts on Week 18.
I mean, we should have Week 19, Week 20. It's just, I'm sorry. I know sometimes they think it's too much. It's never too much. It was so beautiful. If we were to power rank all 272 games that happened this year, from the worst game to the best game, I think number 272 was number one. What are the odds of that? Yeah. I think the best game of the year was 272 for 50 different reasons. You're talking about the garbage track, too, of the Steelers. Isn't it crazy to be alive in an NFL where if you watch those games Sunday and you watch Pittsburgh and then you watch the Chargers and the Raiders, Ben Roethlisberger's in the playoffs and Justin Herbert is not? In what world is that possible? Those two look like they're different species completely, but that's how you got to play the games and you got to win. That's the league.
Yeah, we did get cheated by not seeing Justin Herbert in the playoffs. That's a shame. Somebody tweeted out he had 20% of the fourth down conversions in the last month in that one game.
Oh my gosh,
it was nuts.
really?
Unbelievable. Yeah, it was just a stupid stat.
Yeah, he had 20% of the entire season's
the entire season. Okay.
4th and 9+.
Oh, 4th and 9+. That's
4th
what it
and
was.
9+. It was 85 attempts throughout the entire regular season. He went 5 for 5 on 3 drives at the end of that game.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
And this is how it works now. They lost. We'll never see them play for the rest of the season. So now we spend the next 8 months chewing on this sort of Paul Bunyan, Justin Herbert deal. And believe me, Buffalo, there'll be a lot of comparisons. Is he the next Josh Allen? Is he the next Mahomes? I don't know. He's really skilled and really talented, but still no playoffs, still sub 500. Welcome to the Justin Herbert offseason. Converting about 20 4th and 10s in one drive is one way to enter it.
Yeah, you weren't the only one to notice the amazing feat that Josh Allen pulled off with a linebacker draped all over him to still throw a touchdown pass, and then Diggs with the toe tap. Your NFL Network colleague, Brian Baldinger, was going gaga with it on Baldy's breakdowns. He had it as his best play of the week. He was just he ran out of adjectives. I know you don't, but he did, because he couldn't. He ran out of things to say about it. He's like, this is unbelievable. He's like, this is a play they should run at the combine for the quarterbacks. He's like, is Sam Howell making this play in Indy on a turf field with a linebacker hanging all over him? It was pretty funny. So he shared your appreciation for that play. My question is, you referenced the Hart Foundation, Bret Hart and Jim the Anvil Neidhart. Who is who? Who's the hitman and who is the anvil here with this combination with the Bills, Steve?
Well, that's a great question. You might think that Stefon is the excellence of execution, the hitman, because, I don't know, he's just maybe a little slicker and maybe a little more chill, and Josh is really excitable like the anvil. But I called Stefon the anvil based on his conduct on the Jets sideline, and I stand by that.
Okay.
Josh was the one in this play that played it cool and had the sharpshooter and the submission and took the hit. And then Stefon broke character and was the anvil with the goatee and an actual anvil stenciled onto his pink pants. So I would not have thought of it that way. But over here on the sideline, that's no man's land. I'm looking at this play. There's 20 Jets in one shot and one Bill. There is no other Bill in that area. There's no Dawson Knox. There's no lineman. And I do have to say one thing. We talked about this last week. I don't script the angry runs, carrying on and gesticulating and screaming. It's just whatever comes out, comes out. Me ad-libbing, I'm Stefon Diggs, I'm a star and you're a Jet, was a little bit cruel to the Jets, a little bit gratuitous. They're trying to build something. I would probably take that one back, although the Bills fans, they have chosen that as their favorite line of the year. So what can I do?
So
you're right, probably.
Real quick, last thing on Diggs, because you're kind of our pop culture expert. I don't know if you saw this, but pregame, Diggs often wears signature-made cleats. Did you see the Betty White cleats from before the game?
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Travel down the road and back again, a friend and a confidant. And Brownie, and if you threw a party and invited everyone you knew, you would see the biggest gift it'd be for me, not from Tasker, and the card attached would say, thank you for being a friend. And those are the best cleats I've ever seen. And for Stefon Diggs, does he even have any understanding of Golden Girls? Like, that is way before his time.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable.
Great people transcend culture and everything, and it was great to see. And it's amazing the amount of people who were touched by her passing. So as the Bills, finish up this season, and they got this third round with the Patriots. I don't know if you've heard about this, but the game this week in Buffalo is supposed to be really cold. I mean, bitter, like life-changing cold.
Like zero without the wind chill.
Yeah, so it's going to be an epic game. And so what are your thoughts on how that's going to affect it? Plus, it's the third time these teams have met. It's a playoff game. They've never met in the playoffs since 1964, before the AFL-NFL merger. This game's got some baggage.
I don't know, Steve. Listen, if I could wave a wand and pick the weather, I would not have it be this cold. I wouldn't. Right. I wouldn't against the Patriots. I have it be 40 degrees with no wind. I would. I want it to whatever is best for passing. The Bills are way better than the Patriots at passing. So that's what I would choose. But frankly, like after the last time these two met in this same stadium, it's going to feel like it's spring break on the field. I don't care how cold it is. I care about the wind and the precipitation. Because, listen, this is looked at as this rubber match, and it's the Thrilla in Manila. Like, the first game was drunk and asinine. And the Patriots won it fair and square, take nothing away from them. They were better that night. I don't even need a dome. I don't even need neutrality. Can I just have something that it's approaching resembling the planet Earth weather system? If that's the case, I think the Bills roll. I wish it was much fairer weather, because I think that favors the Bills. As long as the little windsock things are not blowing off the uprights, I think Buffalo will be all right.
Yeah, and there isn't wind in the forecast. It's supposed to be calm. terribly cold. And two things that the Bills have done considerably better here down the stretch, Kyle, is run the football and their pass rush, which now has 19 sacks in their last 4 games. That's the most in the league over that span. Meanwhile, New England has slipped a little bit with some of their performance, particularly on the defensive side of the ball. Naturally, Bills fans are clinging to this, along with all of their other hopes as they face the mighty dragon that has plagued them for years. Do you feel, I know you're kind of leaning Buffalo's way already. Does that encourage you all the more? Because the run game over the last month has lent credence to the fact that it doesn't just all ride on Josh's arm anymore necessarily.
It's been really cool to see Motor run, and I really mean that. Because I remember the three of us a month ago, right around the Tampa deal, we're just like, you know what? Screw it. Throw 60 passes a game. You tried for 4 months to get the running game going. It's not happening. Stop it. Just know when you're defeated. And we kind of had a laugh about it. I'm just like, I think they should just say to hell with it. We're never running the ball. Josh is our best player. Let's let him throw. But McDermott and the staff are smarter than us. And if not, at least they know the team way better. And they said, no, we're still going to do this because you know what I think? I think they thought, I don't think we can win a Super Bowl like that. We can win the division. We can maybe win a playoff game, maybe 2. But we're in for the whole enchilada here. And you're just not going to win the entire thing. You're not going to go to L.A. and beat the Packers or the Bucks just with Josh and Stefon. So they stuck with it, and he's been great. It's been like a different offense these last few weeks, just in time. And you know what else has been like a different offense? The one helmed by that fresh-faced rookie in New England. Mac Jones has turned into an 8th grader the past month. You take out a 50-point thing over Jacksonville that was just circling the drain. Like, it's not a regression. I don't blame him. He's had an awesome rookie season. He looks like a really good player. It's just, damn, the season is long. The defenses are really good. And I think he's really, really starting to fall off a little bit just in time. So he's going to come in here and let's say he's got to throw it 35 times or even 30 instead of 3. I don't like the Patriots' chances with that at all. But I forgot to mention, sidebar, talking about things that are cold. About the coldest thing that I've seen this week, if not this year, is Tasker sitting there with a Zippo lighter, reverse opening this thing like an absolute ninja. I watched that, Steve. I don't know. That's either 50 takes or 50 years of experience doing it because Zippos can get awkward. And you didn't even use the second hand. That was unbelievable dexterity for you, my friend.
How many takes, Steve?
It was not my first rodeo with a Zippo, I'll say that. They did switch out the lighters a couple of times. They had one. The Zippos are great now because they have the butane now for cigars, which are a big thing, and then they have the old style, which are the flame. And we did it with both of them. So.
God, it's so cool.
Yeah, the butane one was harder to work than the classic.
He looks so cool, Steve.
And speaking of Steve performances, you might not be familiar with this, Kyle, but before every home game, the Bills will bring out a legend of the game. Steve was said legend for last week's game against the Jets. And we have it here for your expert actor review.
Let's go. We're going to subject our friend Kyle to me.
Yes, we are. We're doing it.
Let's go.
Hey! Hey! Let's go, Buffalo! Let's go, Buffalo! Where else would you rather be than right here, right now?
Yeah.
The mic drop.
Oh my gosh. All right. I got some thoughts. Okay.
Let's hear
First of all, the mic drop again with the dexterity. You reach forward with the stogie and the mic under multiple digits. I mean, you got a whole butterfly knife under there. You drop the mic, retain possession of the stogie, which is an unbelievably cool flex on the camera. And I also like your delivery, Steve, of the where else would you rather be? There wasn't even a hint of a question mark at the end of that question because it wasn't a question. It was almost an accusation and a threat. And that delivery was spot on perfect. You are the American badass, Steve Tasker.
I appreciate that. It's not easy doing it in front of a live audience, live studio audience even. But yeah,
there you go.
It's always fun. Yeah,
and this is how badass Steve is. We're talking about a non-smoking facility. So there you go.
That's right.
Yeah. You know what I got to say too. You've heard sometimes people who sing the national anthem, they tell these terrible stories about the second I started the song, I knew that I started on too high of a key, and how was I going to finish? And Steve's starting to go with those. Hey!
He said the exact same thing.
Did you start too high? But Steve, you still landed the plane. You got it down.
Yeah, I started too high. So then what you do is, anytime you're on stage, you know this. If you can't hit it, you just throw it away and just scream it. And that's what I did. So it just got higher and higher.
Yeah.
So that was all great.
I almost lost it.
It was coming from the bottom of the diaphragm there on that last one for sure.
Yeah.
Speaking of performances, you have a different performance of sorts, Sir Brandt. Cool opportunity here, man. Little Pearl Jam radio coming up for you?
All right. Yes, that's tonight. It's 6 o'clock. Thank you for bringing that up, Brownie. 6 o'clock Eastern. So in just a couple hours, Sirius XM, Channel 22, they reached out to me like on direct message on Twitter.
Oh, my gosh, that's so awesome.
And they're like, we've seen you tweet about Pearl Jam before or whatever. Would you like to come and host play whatever you want? Tell stories about why you like that song, what you listened to in college, whatever. Pearl Jam is my band. I'm sure a lot of people listening, love them. Maybe you hate them, whatever. It was the coolest thing I've ever done. You go in this high-rise skyscraper in Manhattan, this studio where Sirius is, and they're like, we have the entire catalog and every live version ever played of any song you ever want.
Yeah.
Pick 8 songs and tell why you picked them. And I'm like, I was so nervous. I still am. So it's 6 o'clock tonight. If you like Pearl Jam or if you want to hear me talk about college or whatever, it's 6 o'clock.
That's right. That is right in the wheelhouse of my college years.
Right.
Steve, it might have missed
Steve. It's a little before mine. So
might have missed Steve.
Yeah, I missed it completely. But Pearl Jam had a lot of sway, even with some of my peers who were older. But now tell me, just give me a synopsis of. I know I say Pearl Jam is it, and it doesn't have to be number one on your list, but give me a synopsis of the playlist of band list of your life. Give me 2 or 3 top.
So it's Pearl Jam 1.
Pearl Jam be number 1, I guess. And now it's got to be after this, right?
Yeah, Pearl Jam and one of my favorite bands is Tool, who's this kind of iconic progressive rock sort of metal band. I'll give you one of the oldest ones. When I think of when I was a kid and my dad had a record player in the mid-'80s, he would play a lot of The Police. So I love The Police.
Wow. Okay.
I still listen to The Police to this day. If I had to choose 3, I could throw in 1,000 like we all could. I don't mind riding with Pearl Jam, Tool, and The Police.
Yeah, okay. I'll tell you this, too. I'm at that stage in my life now where a lot of the bands I liked they come back, like Bob Seger, The Police came to Buffalo. You get all, James Taylor. You get all the, all these bands come back and they kind of do that encore tour. The playlist that Police busted out when I went to see them was I forgot. They had a playlist that was phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. I was really impressed. I'll never forget it. Because they weren't really my band, and I went, because the friends, we went with the friends, and I was like, wow, this is a really good concert. I'm glad you said The Police. Yeah, you're right.
Oh yeah, man.
So
Brian,
Kyle,
what about you?
Well, it's always Van Halen for me at the top. I'm a big Black Crowes guy.
Sure.
But Pearl Jam would probably be in my top 5.
I love it, Brian.
I kind of gravitated to the harder stuff early, and then the grunge came in, right when I was in the middle of my college years there. And I went all in on that. I had Screaming Trees, I had Smashing Pumpkins, I had, Pearl Jam, on the playlist. So how deep are we going with the cuts? Are we going deep cuts or are we going favorites? Like, are you doing a mix of both?
Listen, you got to play the hits a little bit. I'm not going to be the poser who comes on and just says, now this is from the C-side of their 12th album they took out last year. No. Everyone's going to be like, shut up, dude. Put a sock in it. I'm going to play some hits. I'm going to do some live versions. It's not going to be all Alive and Better Man and Jeremy and all that everybody knows. I got 30 years with the band. So I'm going to do the whole spectrum. It's going to be unbelievably cool. Thank you guys for asking. Check it out.
6 o'clock tonight.
Yeah.
6 o'clock tonight.
Yeah.
Sirius XM 22.
Yeah. That's the
right.
one, man.
All right, cool. Give us what are your thoughts now? Give us a final thought on the Bills-Patriots 8:15 kick Saturday night in 0-degree weather.
God, what a scene. I mean, this is so cool. There's just the scene alone. And we had talked about this, three of us, that, man, I hope they get that third game against New England. I don't know how it's going to shake out because this was a few weeks ago. Right out of the gates, baby. Wild card round at home. They won the division. And listen, I know what happened that night in Buffalo with the conditions and the players being asked if they were embarrassed. And we know that whole thing. I think that since halftime of the Tampa Bay game, the Bills have been the best team in the NFL. And I've said that many times on this show. And I do not think that changes Saturday night. I think they'll have the best quarterback. I think the defense is going to be unbelievably motivated. I get the Belichick factor. I really do. And I get all the veterans they have. The Patriots have all this been there from so many players. You know what? So are the Bills now. They've been to the playoffs now 3 years in a row. This is not your older brother's Bills team, all fresh and young and getting to the playoffs for the first time. They've been there. They are a playoff-tested, wildly talented team, and I honestly think that they win this one. I'll tell you right now, I think they win this game 31-20 at home and bring on the divisional round.
Awesome. Last thing, we went with the Princeton football exacta here on One Bills Live. You today, Ross Tucker tomorrow. Do you have any message for us to pass along to your former roommate?
I know a lot. We were roommate, frat brothers, at each other's weddings. There's a lot of things I could tell you that Ross are not appropriate for the air. Put Ross on the spot because he's very good on the air. Tell Ross to do an impression of my Ross Tucker impression because he'll know exactly what you mean. I've done an impression of Ross for years, and he will know exactly what it is. So put him right on the spot, and I can only hope we continue the Princeton thread with, Keith Elias or Dean Cain or maybe Jason Garrett, who it could be anybody. Last thing before we go, guys, I have to tell you, this is late breaking news in the Brandt family. I'm sitting around with Brooke about an hour ago, and we're looking over the weekend schedule, our schedule, and then the NFL schedule. We're giving serious consideration to making our Brandt family debut in Buffalo, New York this weekend and trying to come to the game. I'm dead serious, and we're talking through it right now. We got to figure out something to do with the kids and how we're going to get there. But as we've said many times, I have not been to a Bills game in Buffalo, and I think this Saturday night is looking like it could be our premiere. I'm very excited.
We'll take care of you.
I got a couple of ticks in a box if you want them.
Woo! Look at
that. Good. I'm in. I need a Zippo, too, Tasker.
Yeah, if you need them, All right.
Sounds good, Kyle.
The tickets are easier than the Zippo, right? No.
Okay, good.
All right. Take it easy.
Thanks,
Hopefully
guys.
we see you up here this weekend. Take care, man.
I'd love to. See you guys.